left me because I was poor, but when I returned with his dead father's will in my hand, his entire empire collapsed before my eyes. My name is Emily Turner, and once upon a time, I believed in forever. I married Daniel Whitmore when I was just 21, fresh out of college, full of hope, and in love with a man whose eyes promised the world. Even though we lived in a cramped one-bedroom flat above a noisy pub in Manchester, he was ambitious, charming, and endlessly hungry for more money, more power, more of everything I never cared for. I was happy sewing dresses in a small tailor shop, packing lunches with love, dreaming of a quiet home and a family. But, as Daniel climbed the corporate ladder, his eyes wandered from me to the glittering circles of the rich, and then to her, Claudia Beaumont, heiress of a luxury hotel chain, with diamonds around her neck and poison behind her smile. I knew I was losing him the moment he stopped coming home on weekends, started wearing silk ties and forgetting our anniversaries. But I held on, until the day he returned with divorce papers, his voice cold, saying, "You were the right start but not the right finish." He left me with nothing. No savings, no support, just a bruised heart and a bitter silence. I vanished from his world, quietly. I moved to a small coastal village in Cornwall, where I stitched dresses for old women and lived off rain and resolve. But fate, as cruel and poetic as it is, had other plans. One evening, I received a call from a solicitor, Daniel's estranged father. Lord Whitmore, the same man who disowned him years ago, had passed away. And in a shocking twist, the old man had left everything to me, the estate, the stocks, even the family manor in Surrey. Why? Because I had once nursed him secretly through his illness when Daniel had refused to visit. I never told anyone. He never forgot. I stood in disbelief, holding the will like a loaded gun, and I knew what I had to do. I returned to London, not as the girl Daniel discarded, but as the legal heir to everything he craved. I walked into the Whitmore estate during one of Claudia's charity galas, wearing a dress I stitched myself, and watched Daniel's face crumble as the crowd greeted me as Lady Whitmore. He tried to fake a smile, pull me aside, whisper, "This must be a joke," but I simply showed him the will. Claudia turned pale. "You said the estate was yours," she snapped. "It was supposed to be," he stammered. Within days, the media storm hit. Claudia left him. Investors pulled out. His penthouse was repossessed. I watched quietly from the balcony of the estate he once told me I'd never belong to. But I didn't stop there. I turned the manor into a home for women left behind, like I was. I gave jobs, safety, dignity. Every brick he wanted for power became a sanctuary for healing. Months later, Daniel stood outside the gates, thinner, colder, a shadow of the man who once destroyed me. He asked to speak. I allowed it. He said, "I lost everything." I replied, "No, Daniel, you lost me. Everything else was a consequence." He asked if we could start again. I smiled. "You buried me once. Don't expect me to dig you out now." I walked away, not out of anger but closure, because the girl he left behind had died, and the woman who stood before him had built a kingdom out of her ruin, a kingdom he could never enter. And that was my final revenge, not destroying him, just living better without him.